I was watching this clip on KG Certified. Shout out to KG. Shout out to Paul Pierce. I was watching this clip on them, and they was on there talking about mental health. From Ricky Rubio had put something up like, how do you transition from playing like that high lifestyle in the league where you got hundreds of thousands of millions of followers to now having a transition to normal life? And what I got from the clip, what KG was talking about was, you got to have a healthy balance. You got to be around people that won't be yes people. They actually going to tell you what's really up with you. Peace and love to all the Moors, man. All the Muslims, all the Asiatics. So we talking about mental health. So in that clip, they was like, KG and Paul Pierce basically was saying like, without a healthy balance in your life, then you're going to be out of balance. It's going to be an imbalance. So you trying to compensate to keep some balance in your life. So if you don't have that duality inside yourself, you're going to be seeking things in the material world to compensate the feeling of not having. So you go to the store you think you going to the store like to browse around. That's really your mindset. You think that's you going in there to browse. But a salesman will come up to you and it's something wild though with salesmen, like sales 101. They teach the salespeople. If they ask you, you know how somebody come up to you trying to sell you a product, or you go somewhere and try to sell you a product. There's a sales tip that they show people where if they can get you, the customer, to agree to something, they ask you questions 3 times. If they can get you to agree to something 3 times, by the 4th time, that salesperson knows psychologically that it's a pretty much high percentage that you're gonna agree to whatever they selling. This is why salespeople use these sales tactics. See, it's psychological. Look, pick up this book right here. It's called Psychological Triggers. Crazy. And a lot of people, you'd be surprised, a lot of people will go for the bait when they ain't even trying to buy nothing because they have been conditioned. You go to the store, the salesperson gonna ask you 3 times, how you doing? How's the weather? They gonna ask, do you like how this looks? If they can get you to agree to that, more than likely you're gonna agree to what they selling. That's how they get a sale. So on mental health though, what KG and Paul Pierce was talking about was, without a healthy internal balance of knowing who you are, knowing your character, if you don't know yourself enough to know your own identity and your own character, you will get sold anything and not even realizing that they selling it to you. So you're going to accept what they selling because you're not grounded in balance, in duality. As above, so below. So what KG and I was talking about, he like, man, they teach you how to turn the Hulk on, but they don't teach you how to turn off the Hulk. And that shit was strong because KG and I was talking about how, like, you know, when you preparing for training, you preparing for the season, you got to get in beast mode. You got to get in beast mode when you finna go out here and do something. Like, you finna compete. You got to tee up. You gotta turn into that beast. So, just like David Banner and the Incredible Hulk. David Banner and the Incredible Hulk is the same people. That's no different than a duality with us, living beings. We have the ability to be scientific. We have the ability to be logical, critical thinkers, using reasoning. But we also have the ability to tee up and turn into that beast. Without a healthy balance of knowing thyself, I, self, law, and master, without knowing that, somebody can sell you something or give you a psychological trigger to send you off. Now, you didn't got psychologically triggered to whatever they were saying, to whatever they were selling. They sold you something because you wasn't grounded. You didn't know enough to know that you didn't know. So you got triggered. And you'd be surprised. All of us have these abilities to be grounded. All of us have these abilities that we can go from Jean Grey. Look at Jean Grey. Jean Grey, brilliant scientist. But Jean Grey also had that ability to turn into the Phoenix and just destroy shit. You see what I'm saying? Just like David Banner and the Incredible Hulk. Jean Grey and the Phoenix, the Dark Phoenix. She had that ability that she can go from a scientific mindset, logical, critical thinking, using reasoning. She can go from that. She could tee up. Now she the Dark Phoenix. She gonna kill everything. She gonna destroy everything. You see? So, in dealing with mental health, a lot of us have not even really been taught, like real life. We ain't really been taught to be critical thinkers, to be logical thinkers. I want to share something with y'all. Check this out. Check this out right here. From this book right here. Critical thinking. Peace and love to all the Moors out there. Let's build real fast. Let's build real fast. Logical thinking then and now. Logical thinking is the process in which we use reasoning consistently to arrive at a conclusion. Problems or situations that require logical thinking call for structure, relationships, or connections between facts and links to reasoning that fits or seems right. The basis of thinking logically is called sequential thought. This process involves taking ideas, facts, and conclusions that are involved in a problem, and then the thinker arranges them in a chain-like manner that takes on a meaning in and of itself. Logical thinking is a step-by-step method. A lot of us, you'd be surprised, use what's known as reactionary thinking. A lot of us, fam, a lot of us, like I said about going to the store, you go to the store and you're not really per se thinking about buying nothing, but that salesman can come over there and just start just saying little things to you, and before you know it, you done bought on some impulse buying. You know, people be out here, they'll buy something even though they don't need it. They'll just go out there and buy it because they're reacting to what they see. They're reacting to what they done heard. And a lot of us out here have not been taught to be logical thinkers, to be critical thinkers. A lot of us move around, and I see that this like mental health depression thing is like, it didn't really exploded amongst our people. Peace. It didn't really exploded amongst our people because of the fact that you got so much technology. You got social media. You got the internet. You got all these different platforms that people can now, the communication is just everywhere. But you got to use discernment on what communication you've examined before you've processed, before you start accepting what anybody is telling. That's why I'm saying, when Moors be talking, we want y'all to go to the references. That's why we always throwing references out. We always throwing books out so you can go look it up yourself. This ain't about following nobody. This ain't about following Kush Day. This ain't about following me at all. This ain't about following nobody. This is not about following nobody. It's not about following nobody. It's about each one teach one, ourself, law, and master. That's what this is about. This is about nation building. This is about uplifting fallen humanity. So how can you uplift something if you assassinate your own character? Wow. That's why it's not taught to our people. And you starting to see the remnants of people are looking outside themselves for some salvation. Meaning they go buy something as a replacement for something that's not there internally. They think they got to go externally to buy something. I'm going to go buy something to fulfill a void that I have within myself. And that's what they say, like, so-called black people are consumers. Because instead of going within, we are taught by design to go outside of ourselves and consume, to go buy something for pleasure. And you go celebrate on the weekend for pleasure, working for the weekend. It'd be Tuesday, Wednesday. Motherfuckers out here talking about working for the weekend. That's the mental side. We all have these abilities to turn in from David Banner to the Incredible Hulk. We could just tee up. And what triggers that? Jean Grey to the Dark Phoenix. We all have these abilities because God and the devil are within. Now, for the ones who might be hearing this for the first time, you like, what is Kush Day talking about? If you study the lessons of the Circle 7, divinely prepared by the prophet Noble Duality, if you study the lessons of Confucius, Buddha, Muhammad, if you study the lessons, all these lessons are pretty much the same lessons, just all just like synergized to be the same thing. It's like this book right here. Spiritual warfare, right? Spiritual warfare. What do you see right here in spiritual warfare? Look at this. If you got this book, I'm on page 32. It is. Victory over the powers of this dark world. People be out here talking about it's a spiritual battle. Spirit means breath. And the activation of the breath is spirituality. The realm of people and things. The issue in this battle is always the glory of God. So we say Allah. And the primary battle is the third of the realms of being. Namely, that of human beings and closely associated with the human population. The rest of the created world. The creation was designed to declare the glory. See that? To declare the glory of God or Allah. Psalms chapter 19. And people were created and recreated in order that they might be to the praise of his holy glory. Ephesians chapter 1, verse 6, chapter 12. Now watch this. This is where it get interesting at. Satan and his forces have tried whenever possible to mar the reflection of God or Allah's glory in nature by introducing enmity, perversion, and even catastrophe into this realm. Romans chapter 8, verse 19 through 21. They seek every way possible to keep God's or Allah's people from doing whatever they do to the glory of God or Allah. 1 Corinthians chapter 10, verse 31. Their primary tactic, now watch this. This is what ties it in. Talking about the dark force. So the dark force's primary tactic is the lies they tell about the character of Allah and about our relationship to him. Now this is where it get wild. Where it get wild is, again, with the mental and the logical thinking and the balance. Where it get wild is people unknowingly separate themselves and commit character assassination or character suicide on themselves. Meaning, instead of going within, we are taught to go out into the world. Whole time it's really inside of us. Case in point, right? I went to the store and I seen, just like y'all seen when y'all go to the store and y'all see these little things up there. And social media, they'll have us with all these experts. They'll tell us like, man, the virus, remember the virus? They was telling us that the virus, you had to put a mask on, that was going to help, and you had to get boosted, and you had to take these jabs, that was all going to help, right? This is the part about the mental fortitude. We have to start fortifying up here our minds, because it's a warfare. It's a spiritual warfare. It's a physical warfare. All right. It's a mental warfare, and everything is mental. Everything is mind. Mind first. That's why it's mind over matter. So I'm in the store, and I'm in the aisle like the cleaning products. So in the cleaning products aisle, they got Lysol up there, and the Lysol says on the package. Yeah. The Lysol says on the package, this kills the virus. You know the virus I'm talking about. So, whole time, I'm thinking, if this really kills the virus, then how come these so-called experts can't put it up in a syringe, and how come they ain't give that out to the population? Right. Ain't no money in that. You see? Ain't no money in the cure. There's money inside of treatment. This is why they always do these treatments. This is why the so-called healthcare system is a scam in the USA corporation. It's a scam, G. Just like everything else. It's a scam. Just like sports is rigged. The lottery is rigged. All this stuff is rigged. If you could place a bet on something, it's more than likely it's rigged. Real shit. You gotta let the cat out the bag now. We talking about logical thinking. We talking about critical thinking. This is what we talking about. We talking about sharpening up our critical thinking collectively. All right. David Banner was a logical thinker. Nah, he was a critical thinker. But when that beast came out, the Incredible Hulk, when the Hulk burst out on the scene, it wasn't no more critical thinking. Yeah. When the Hulk came out, it wasn't no more critical thinking. Everything in the Hulk path getting destroyed. Everything. Hulk smash. It ain't no more critical thinking at that point. Shit. No different than Jean Grey. Jean Grey, scientist. She on some whole type scientific, logical thinking, breaking down formulations and all that. But when Dark Phoenix came out, it was over with. Everything getting ethered out here. The U.S. corporation is a tentacle. The City of London is a tentacle. The Vatican is a tentacle. This is why we got to start understanding the dark force itself and the conglomerate. The USA, Vatican, and the City of London, they are all associated with the dark force. That's the association. But they come in the disguise like they the ones that's going to bring the peace. Got to be careful out here using discernment. If they got products that's on the shelves, just think about, because the art of war. If you study the art of war by Sun Tzu, you will study that all warfare is based on deception. All warfare is based on deception. So if you studying that, you got to start looking at everything if you choose to. If you choose to be somebody that's not strictly just plugged into whatever they see, they're reactionary, step back from that and just look at stuff, start analyzing stuff with discernment. And think like they selling us products that make us sicker. Everything now, ain't you peeping? Everything now, they try to put everything now into a pill form. Everything. They trying to use substitutes for everything. The food over here ain't even the same food as the food they serve other places. Because other places in the world, they have sanctions on the ingredients that they could put in the food. Like over here, a lot of the mental health conditions and the problems is caused by bogus food consumption. Again, consumption, consuming. So-called black people gross trillions of dollars, not billions, trillions of dollars annually. So-called black people. You gross trillions of dollars a year. These is facts. But what is the thing that's stopping our people from seeing that? One of the main things that's stopping our people from seeing that is this right here. Look. One of the main things that's stopping our people from seeing that is this right here. Fear. Fear is truly one of the most powerful psychological triggers because it completely overrides our brains and sends us into action. Fear is what causes us to drop absolutely everything in the interest of self-preservation in one way or another. Unfortunately for us, most causes of modern fears are rather misleading and unimportant. Okay? Let me put this. Because people saying it's frozen. Is that better? I know it clicked off. Is the sound right too? Because when they clicked, like when they zap the beam out, they'll zap the sound. So is the sound? Let me know if the sound is still on, because I see for the longest now, y'all don't even know. For the longest, this page be getting shadow banned. The sound go out. It be all over the place. So let me know if the sound is linked up. Is the sound is my words linked up, or is it off? Sound is good. Yeah, because they y'all don't even know how much they be fucking with this page. Real life. So look, it's good, it's long. So look, we talking about mental health, and we talking about breaking the fears and the mental chains. Yes, sir, it's long, more. Breaking the fears, because fear, it overrides us from thinking. Fear does that. See, when you in fear, you ain't got in your head no other choice but to succumb to the fear of self-preservation. And this is where they want us to be. Islam, appreciate you. So when you got fear, and this is what they push psychological triggers all day, every day amongst our people. Look, they'll push stuff like this. They'll be like, if you don't have this, then you missing out. If you don't have that product, then you missing out. You're late. What? You see what I'm talking about? You see, this is how they start pushing these, what they call phobias. Phobias. What's phobias about? That's fine. Let's look at it together. What's phobias about? This is something that they love pushing. The book is called Psychological Triggers. Ether. Get this in your life. Get this in your life, though. Let's look at it together. So we just looked at fear. Let's look at phobias. Let's look at phobias. Let's look at it together. Phobias. Humans also cede control to phobias, which strictly defined are irrational fears of or aversion to certain things or conditions. We talking about phobias. How do you start getting control of your character, your own mental mindset? You got to recognize the psychological triggers. Because if you don't recognize your own psychological triggers, you're going to be walking around here as a reactionary person instead of a critical thinking person, a logical person. Logical people, they ain't really influenced off what somebody just say. You got to prove to me what you talking about. That's somebody that uses critical thinking. See? Critical thinkers don't just move off emotions. Critical thinkers don't just move off of, oh, I heard you said this about me. Oh, I heard. Nah, they're not thinking like that. Keep in mind, critical thinkers, they use sequential thought. You see, They recognize the problem. They use ideas, facts, and they use conclusions that are involved with problem solving skills. That's a critical thinker, step by step. But if you or someone else is a person that deals with fear and phobia, phobias are the ultimate psychological triggers. They're often, though not always, based on illogical or groundless anxieties, and as such result in the destruction of our rational and analytical thought processes. Damn. These are the extreme versions of risk detection dictating our actions and behaviors. That goes back to when somebody is just a reactionary person. Somebody say something to them, or somebody shows them a picture about something, and they don't ask no more questions. They just take it as is. And that's what our people are trained to do. And unless we start really talking about it as a collective, it's going to stay in the same situation. So this is why I self-law and master and Noble Duality was out here talking about build yourself up. Study, study, study. He was talking about study your higher self. Study your lower self. Don't just be complacent to just be like, all right, I know what I know, so I'm good. You can be like that, but don't that sound like cap? Don't that sound like a limitation? If you just got the mentality in 2024 and beyond to say, I'm good, I don't need to learn no more. I don't need to learn nothing else. I'm straight. It's always something to learn. I do my best to learn something every day. Every day I push myself to learn something every day. Even though ain't nothing new under the sun. Ain't that wild? Ain't nothing new under the sun. But you still learn something new every day though. Shit, wow. So look at this. It's a forever grind. It's a forever grind. Look. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this right here. Look. What it say? It say phobias take us outside of rational thought and rob us of free will. So when you're afraid, you're actually robbing yourself of your own free will. This is why it's so much mental depression. It's so much anxiety. It's so many people who don't know themselves outside and they don't have the balance. The balance comes from inside. Know thyself. That is the balance. Turn this up. That is the balance. Like we talking about mental health, right? Like I was watching this clip. Now, if you got sensitive feelings, I'm going to hit you in the head with a disclaimer right now. If you sensitive, if you're triggered and you're a reactionary person, you're going to be bothered about what I'm finna say. Okay? But it got to get said. All right. So they was on this little dating show. And dude, little buddy, he had the little Pooh Shiesty little mask on. Right? He had the ski mask on. Now he's on the dating show. So whole time the girl, she come over there and she like, man, why you got that little boy mask on for? Right? Thinking that she's shooting a shot at little buddy, like he ain't finna clap back. Yo, man. After she said that, dude, like, he like, I might have this mask on, but why you still wearing the mask? Cause you got all that damn makeup on your face. After he said that, it was over with. Everybody in the room was like, damn. And that's what we call psychological triggers. That's what we call you looking outside yourself and somebody gave you a reflection of what you really look like on the outside. See, what you really like, this is what it is, man. We talking about consuming and mental health. The U.S. corporation, the dark side, they have tricked our women, our Moorish women, our beautiful Moorish women. Listen though, I hope you ain't, if you in your feelings, I hope you ain't in your feelings too deep to miss the message. All right? It's a message. So, and this is all love though. This is not, I'm guillotining your head. This is all love. This is universal. Men and women. The only ones who have wounds are you Moorish women. You would think that would be like common sense nowadays, but keep in mind with social media, with all these distractions, with all this misinformation and all these people popping out like roaches and rats everywhere, it's a lot of misinformation that is flooded and saturated all over social media. So it's, if you're not in the know or seeking the path of knowledge, you can get misled out here very easily. Whole time, look. So, old boy who clapped that old girl with the why she still got a mask on her face. I looked at that and I was like, damn, he clapped the shit out of her. But then I was like, he had a point because he went on that show just to prove that. He went on that show like, how you talking about my mask that I'm wearing on purpose? And every day you look at yourself every day and you put on makeup. You put on all that Maybelline and you put all that CoverGirl and all that stuff up. And the chemical addiction, I've been doing research on like the chemical addictions. Fam, I'm saying this to y'all Moorish women with love though. Y'all have natural beauty. And the U.S. corporation, what they've done with technology is they've tricked y'all Moorish women to accept that you're flawed. They've tricked y'all and they continue to throw tricks at you Moorish women. You have natural curves. You are naturally beautiful. You're naturally gorgeous in your own way. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But as a whole, you are a beautiful, divine, feminine creation. Beautiful. They've tricked you Moorish women, though, out of your character. A lot of y'all. Not all of y'all, but this is by design. The design is, if we can corrupt the Moorish woman, the Aboriginal and indigenous woman, if we can corrupt her, we can get her to be an addict, a junkie. Listen. A junkie means that you are completely addicted to makeup, Maybelline, CoverGirl. If you're addicted to those type products, not only do they cause thyroid disease, not only do they cause dementia, not only do they cause lupus, not only do these products cause the body to go into a process of decomposition. This is what these products are made. The chemicals inside these makeup products, they are designed to destroy you from the inside out. Look up the products and look up the harmful effects of the continued use of makeup products. You Moorish women out there. You wonder why y'all got headaches. You wonder why y'all hormones ain't in check. You wonder why the chemical imbalances within yourself are how they are because of the makeup. The makeup that is promoted on Maybelline and CoverGirl and all these different companies. Not only that, does it cause these chemical breakdowns inside your beautiful bodies and your beautiful minds. The process in which they gather up the makeup. Have y'all looked up how they gather the makeup? They got children in the Congo. They got children all over on the other side of the world, Eastern Africa. They got children they use as slave labor. Real rap. They using children over there, Congolese, in the Congolese over there, they got mines over there that they use the children as slave labor to this day. Yeah, maca and all them products that you Moorish women know about. If you really I'm gonna give y'all women a challenge out there. I'm gonna give y'all women a challenge out there. All of the chemicals and the makeup products that y'all use on y'all faces, would you really be talking crazy to men if you didn't have no chemical enhancers on your face? Would you really be talking like the same person without that on your face? Huh? Would you be talking like a boss chick, and all of that, hooting and hollering and waving your face and twitching your neck all around? Would you be the same person? Because from what I see, these chemicals got our women out here tweaking. And the chemicals are addictive. So if you continue to use these chemicals on your face, you committing character assassination on yourself. And not only that, you really out here fraudulent, because your face ain't even your face. Your face is like false advertisement. Real life. Like if you out here talking about, I'm a boss chick, I'm independent, I don't need nobody, I don't need a man. Yeah. But your face ain't even your face though, baby. Your face is a whole other face. So you didn't false advertise me. Now I see your face. It ain't even like just a catfish. It's like the whole thing, your face ain't even your face. Like real life, man. Real life. And this is what the dark force, this is what they want. They want our women to be out here boss chicks, psychological triggers. They want our women to be addicted to those chemicals. In real life, if you do a little knowledge on those chemicals are not only physically harmful and internally harmful, those chemicals can reconstruct y'all brains to be junkies. For real. They can literally destroy and rot y'all minds out. For real. That's what these chemicals do, because Maybelline, CoverGirl, and all these different companies that make all these different makeup products, they know, because they hire chemists. And the chemists that they hire, they make these products to be on some, all right, when they start using these makeup products, that the makeup products, they have to continue to use the makeup products. So once you Moorish women out there, remember, Moorish women, any dark complexioned woman is a Moorish woman. So this is why these chemists from these companies, this is why they have to get y'all to be fiends for these makeup products. And once y'all fiends for these makeup products, you gotta continue to use the dope that they selling. Wow. You gotta keep buying they dope. Because if you stop buying they dope, you ain't gonna be able to keep up your appearance. We talking about mental health right now. See? We talking about mental health. We talking about psychological triggers. Like this whole conversation, you got people probably logged off and everything. You probably logged off and everything. But it's all love though. Because the message ain't gonna hit everybody. The message is not gonna hit everybody. Critical thinking. Critical thinking takes skills. Critical thinking is something that has to be worked on every day. This is why the Creator created us how he created us. Natural. To have natural beauty. You Moorish women are already naturally beautiful. You don't need all these crazy makeup products. Because the makeup products got y'all on some, you tweaking. You tweaking. Because first of all, you really wouldn't even be talking that loud if I really could see your face. Like, if without your, how you go to bed, that's the real you. All right? That's the real. I seen the clip on YouTube on some scrolling shit. I seen the clip on YouTube. It was a chick on there, like real shit. She had to be like 300 some pounds. And she had her face like with the makeup kit. So the camera, I threw it in my stories too. So the camera was on her face. Like it was zoomed in like on her face, right? So all you seeing is like the face. So the camera went out. Like it started going wide. Yo, the camera was close up like this on her face. Her face was like, all right, okay. Fam, the camera panned out. Like down here? What? I'm like, and the dude in the video as funny as hell, because the dude in the video was like, dude was like, I don't even know what this is. Don't be out here with false advertisement, because you don't even need to wear that shit. Just be natural. Just be natural, man. Because the U.S. corporation, they have designed programming plans for you Moorish women. They know that if they could get y'all Moorish women to turn on Moorish men, if they know, they study this. They got you looking like you have to wear makeup, because if you don't wear makeup, you're not beautiful enough. So you think like, if you don't put makeup on, then we ain't gonna love you. We ain't gonna like you. We ain't gonna want to be around you. It's nothing to do with that shit. You ask the average man, what are they attracted to? BBLs or natural? The majority of men are going to tell you women they are attracted to natural beauty. Natural beauty. This is what we're attracted to. I'm a man. I'm telling you, we are more so attracted to natural, divine, feminine beauty than we are attracted to BBLs. I seen another clip today. Funny as hell, but it wasn't really funny though. Like it wasn't no funny ha-ha shit. It was like, damn, like a bogus funny. My brother Cujo put up in his story, he put up a chick that was like twerking. She was like twerking, fake twerking, dancing and shit, right? Fam. Yeah. She like fake twerking, dancing. And she turned her body like the camera facing this way, right? And she twerking, she dancing, and she like turned her body like to the side. And it was wild because it wasn't really no funny ha-ha shit. It was like funny like damn. She turned her body to the side. Gee. When she herself saw her ass, how it looked, at how it looked with that surgery shit. Coño. How she looked at herself was priceless. She grabbed her own ass and tried to like lift it up. It wasn't lifting. Just because you get that shit, you still gotta work out. Yo, you said you seen it? Yeah. And this is the thing with our people, man. The thing with our people, man, we are so intelligent. We are the best of the best. But if they could get us to stop knowing thyself and to get us to look outside of self and go into this material world and stay in the material world, then they can control us with perception. You see, it's about perception. They can control you with perception. If they can control your vision with their perception, then they got you under mind control. They got you by the brain. That's why it's each one teach one. I, self, law, and master. This is why it's love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. It's 5 universal principles. We don't need to look outside of self to recognize the beauty that we already have with self. This is why you got to know yourself. Study yourself. Study what gets you psychologically triggered. Study what you got fear of. And why do you have fear of that? Study why you say what you say. Is it a reactionary saying out your mouth? Or is it you're just psychologically triggered and don't know why it triggers you? Because keep in mind, everything is mental. So since everything is mental, wouldn't it be crucial right now in these days and times to start studying the mind and how the mind functions? Crucial, right? You would think it'd be crucial right now. Critical. You think it'd be crucial because you the problem and the solution. Remember, David Banner, he was a scientist, a logical, critical thinker using reasoning in the lab. David Banner. But when he was triggered, get out the way. It's not going to be no stopping. It's not going to be no talking. It ain't finna be none of that. I don't want to hear nothing. David Banner, as intelligent as he was, when that gamma, when it clicked and turned on and transformed him to the Incredible Hulk, it's over with. It's over with. And they want us to, they want us to stay in beast mode. The they is the dark force. The they is the ones that's connected to these media outlets. This is why they have all these different media outlets that they can manipulate like puppets and control. They can control the media. This is why you got to use discernment when you digesting and you processing, because first of all, everything that we watch don't deserve us to digest. We can look at it, we can process it, but that don't mean that you're supposed to digest it. You could just look at it. Some of this shit that we see on media outlets, some of this shit you can look at and just spit that shit out because it ain't even worth digestion. It ain't even worth going inside our body to be digested. It's just some shit to look at. And then you like, all right, I'm going to take it out. I'm going to weigh it on the scale. Is this going to be a positive or a negative in my life? Is it even worth me ingesting? You feel me? A lot of this shit don't even be worth ingesting. Real life. Not even digesting. Just ingesting. Like when you see it, you like, nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. That ain't never it. You feel me? It ain't even worth ingesting. Like, you guys start looking at stuff like, is this even worth my ingestion? Is this even worth my attention? Because one of the strongest things that you could do is to pay attention. And a lot of these people out here, they don't show no books. They don't read nothing. All they do is get in front of the camera, turn the camera on, and they just start talking. Where they books at? What are their references? Where their documentation in law and history? If they don't have documentation that they can reference, why keep ingesting the BS that they keep putting out? Just push away from the table. Unplug. Right, they'll run the Wikipedia. They'll run the Wikipedia. That's your only reference? Right. They ain't on God more. They'll go on live. They ain't show one book in 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years. They ain't show one reference that you could be like, all right, look. Here's critical thinking. Here, get this book. You know what I'm saying? Check this book out. Here's some references in there. Or they could be like, hey, here's another book, Psychological Triggers. Go get this book, read all about it. Or they could be like, oh, here's another book. Okay, go to Spiritual Warfare. Go to this book, read it, reference it, let it digest, and take what you want from it. They don't even do that. All they do is just shove down their information, and they just keep shoving their information in people's faces, because these people are paid puppets, fam. They paid to sell garbage. This is what they paid to do. Go to rvbaypublications.com. Go to khalifamedia.com. Those are two places that's verifiable, where they gonna give you something to learn and to cross-reference in real time, so you can see it yourself, read it yourself, and then you can take that information and cross-reference it in other places with other information. The time of holding somebody by the hand, that time is over with now. So you gotta start looking it up yourself. The time is now, fam. The time is now. It ain't no more time to wait on somebody else to hold your hand and like show you everything. We got technology outside now where you capable of doing all that. You got AI outside right now. So I would encourage somebody who does coding, get involved with coding now, not later. Get involved with coding. If you learn how to code, get involved with coding. You got a company that you dealing with coding, get into coding now. Start putting out coding and programs so when AI can get all this information from Google and all these different sources, your Moorish coding will be out there. Because don't think that they going to roll AI out slow and make it seem like, oh, it's such a wonderful thing. And then, just like they do with everything else, the U.S. corporation, just everything else, they'll roll it out, make it all good, like the social credit system. There she is right there, just popped in. Islam. Khalifa Media. Follow her right now. Follow her. Go to her website, khalifamedia.com. Load up on everything that you can. Load up on it. So social media, when they got these programs that they rolling out, like, yeah, just go to OpenAI. We can just start a social credit system. They don't never put out the negatives. They don't put the negatives out first. They're going to put all the positives out. This is what they do. This is how they sucker people into the slaughterhouse. They'll be like, yeah, it's all good. It's fast. It's convenient. Don't worry about it. It's free. It's safe. This is how they roll out this shit. So once it's fast and free and convenient and safe, that's when they hit the switch. But now you didn't got pulled so deep in the trap. You didn't got your bank account attached to it. You didn't got your credit card attached to it. Now your mind is uneasy right now because you didn't got pulled up in there. Psychological triggers. Remember, this is about mental health. Mental health. Don't you feel better when you being yourself? Now, magnify that being yourself with knowing yourself. There's a lot of people that swear they out here being they self, but they don't know they self. They only being what they know. They not being their full potential. It's a difference. It's a difference between being what you know and being your full potential. Huge difference. Your huge potential is you know the bad about yourself. You know the positives about yourself. It's a difference. A lot of people, like I said, we not taught to think beyond a reactionary type way of thinking. It's a reaction, and that's what's pumped in to the masses. in society. It's encouraged. Like, if you got everybody out here talking about democracy, yet and still, the word democracy ain't mentioned in the Constitution one time, but everybody in the media keep talking about democracy. We got to fight for our democracy. The contradiction is democracy ain't mentioned in the Constitution, but everybody in social media, technology is promoting that narrative. You see how it's misinformation? But they will continue to try to convince people this is what you got to accept. No, sir. But see, that's when you know, though. You see, you're not a part of the crowd. You own what you own. But you being on your energy, frequency, and vibration of nationality and birthright, that's going to keep you on the path where the ones who are on the same energy, frequency, and vibration, they're going to see and recognize you, because it's not about trying to get somebody to join us or join you, or we want to convert you to be a Moor. This ain't got nothing to do with that. This is about recognizing energy, frequency, vibration, law, history, culture, agriculture, horticulture, alchemy, psychology, logical, critical thinking. It has to do with birthrights and nationality, and the inheritance that is linked with that blood. Geography, the landmass. Once you say your landmass, now I know where you from. Somebody tell me they from Libya, instantly you come in your mind like, oh, they're Libyan. Somebody tells me that they're from Brazil, instantly I think about the culture of Brazil. Somebody tell you that they're a crayon color, they black. What do you think about? Do you think about, if anybody tells you that they're a crayon color black, do you think about a land? Like real rap. Does a land come in your mind if somebody says to you they're a white person or they're a black person? Does a land come in your mind? Does a nation come in your mind? It don't happen. You see? And what's strange is when our people take trips to go other places, foreign, around the world, they always be identified as a American. When you take a trip to Bali, or you take a trip to United Emirates, you take a trip to, let's say you take a trip to Germany or something. You take a trip to Japan. They're not going to call you black until you call yourself black. They're going to address you as an American. Just think about it. The next time you catch a flight and you go somewhere foreign, pay attention to how they address you. They're not going to address you as a color person, black, brown. They're not going to address hybrid Europeans as white people. They're going to call them falsely an American. Keep in mind, Albions, European hybrids, they're not Americans. They are squatters on the planet. You understand? This is what we're talking about, mental health. See, the mental health has to deal with the strength of the mind. If the mind is not fortified and strong in principles, you can be led astray with misinformation. Disinformation will finesse you. And just because somebody said with a smile, they like, they saying lies to you with a smile. They're using smooth words. They're using programmed words. And they saying it with a smile. Right. So when you go to Trinidad, when you go to Belize, when you go to the Bahamas, they not going to address you as a black person. You go to Hong Kong, the Philippines, you go to Sri Lanka, you go to these different places around the world. They're not going to address you as a color until you call yourself a color. They going to call you an American. That's what they going to call you. They not going to call you no color until you dishonor yourself and call yourself a color. All y'all out there loves talking about y'all catch flights, not feelings. So if you catch flights and not feelings, the next time you catch a flight, listen to what they call you. Just pay attention to what they call you. The next time you catch a flight out of the so-called country, listen to what they address you as. Okay? They not, on God, they not going to address you as a color. They not going to call you no color. They going to call you an American until you open your mouth up and say you a crayon color. That's how it works. So when it comes to character and character suicide, character assassination, it's time for us to stop committing character assassination on ourselves. We're doing it. No one else is in charge of self but self. No one else is in charge of self but self. Nobody. Anything that comes out your mouth, you put it out there. It's not about what you meant. Oh, I meant to do good, so I just said it so everybody can understand that I was saying black, but I was really meaning more, but I just said black. Fuck that. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. If you saying what you saying, be confident in what you saying. Don't sugarcoat it and double down and say, I was talking about Moors, but since this is what they say. I know that we're Moors, but I'm just going to say that we're black because it's easier to relay that message. That's bullshit. You got to just call it out. If you really know, then be. See, that's what I'm saying about psychological triggers and phobia. Phobia will have somebody afraid to be theyself. You will be afraid of what you think that you're going to encounter. So your phobia will kick in and say, nah, I'm going to say black, even though I know that we Moors, because it's an easier way to relate a message. So I'm going to say black. Fuck that. If you know we Moors because you studied up and you see all of the geography, all of the artifacts, all of the monuments around the planet, all of the languages connected around the planet, and you still tell yourself, I'm not going to say more, I'm going to say black because it's easy to relate to our people. You a fucking sellout. And somebody got to stop. No, we got to stop letting these people who say they know that we Moors, but they still say black. Fuck that. Stop giving these people passes. We got to stop giving these people passes. You know we Moors, then say Moors then. It's as simple as that. You know what 2 + 2 is. But that's like you saying 2 and 2 is 5. You know it's 4. But since everybody around you is saying 5, you gonna say 5? What kind of sense do that make? That you continue to lie to yourself because everybody around you saying 2 and 2 is 5. You know it's 4. And since you want to blend in with the crowd, you gonna say it's 5. Think about that. Just think about that. 2 + 2 is 4. But everybody around you is saying 5. So you just gonna say, I know it's 4, but since everybody else saying it's 5, I'm gonna say 5. No, sir. No, sir. You know the answer? Then say the right answer. Say the right answer. Our nationality is Moorish American, or more around the planet. You know the answer. So if the masses don't know the answer, and you do know the answer, didn't the Creator tell us to treat people like we want to be treated? So the Creator, Allah, was wrong when he said treat people like you want to be treated. So if somebody calls you a name that you know is a denationalization term and you let it stand, ain't that you selling out yourself? Ain't that you committing character suicide? Character assassination? You wouldn't let nobody call you out your name, would you? So, but you would let somebody call you out your name when they say black to you? Think about it. You wouldn't let nobody call you a B, but you would let them call you a dead man or a dead woman? That's strong. You wouldn't let somebody call you out your name. Somebody call you an idiot. You're not gonna say what's up to them. They be like, what's up, idiot? You ain't gonna say, yeah, what's up? What's up, man? Goof ass. You ain't gonna let nobody call you a dumbass as if that's your name. Are you? You gonna correct them like, hey, that ain't my... You ain't even... First of all, you gonna let them know, don't disrespect me. That's the first thing you should do. Don't disrespect me. Because that's disrespectful. It's no different when somebody call you a crayon color, or they call you an Indian, or they call you a West Indian, or they call you a Latino, or they call you a African American, or they call you a Pan-African. They're disrespecting you. But by design, our people don't look at it as that's disrespectful. Somebody calling you black is a derogatory term. That's no different than them calling you a Negro. Just imagine if a pale-faced European walk up to you and call you a nigger. The first thing, you would have a reactionary situation. Because if you're not knowing self, you're going to take a European calling you a nigger, you're going to take that as an insult. But studying knowledge of self, studying more science, you're going to look at it like, look at this fool. You the nigger, not me. Keep in mind, you are scientific animalistic experimentation that crawled on all fours. So the definition of a nigger belongs to the Albion, pale-faced Europeans, not Moorish people. That's if you in control of self. If you in control of your higher self and you connected with Allah, you're not going to get triggered from somebody calling you a nigger, because you can logically, scientifically break that down and you're not going to be in an ignorant state of mind. But if you operating off feelings, if you operating off, you hurt my feelings, you said something to me where I got triggered. You see? And that's what a lot of our people by design fall victim to. They fall victim to being psychologically triggered from a lack of knowledge, a lack of information, not just misinformation, but a lack of information, like knowledge of self. You feel me? So if a hybrid European start just walking around just calling our people Negroes, and then you start seeing our people accept it, that don't mean you gonna accept it. If they came out with something like, in order for y'all to get reparations, you got to call yourself a nigger, or you got to call yourself a Negro. I wonder how many people would sign up thinking that they would ever get reparations if they had to take on the name Negro. You got to take on the name Negro for them to promise to give you reparations. You got to take your name. You got to accept being called a Negro. So you done time warped and put yourself back in chains. Wow. Just for another promise. Because keep in mind, Negro and black is the same thing. Negro and black is the same thing. Negro. This is why the Prophet Noble Duality told us, he left us instructions in the prophecies and hadiths. He left us the instructions like study, study, study. And he said, you should study a second language, Spanish. So when they call you black or you call yourself black, you are committing character assassination on yourself. This is what you're doing. This is a designed assassination. This is a professional assassination that our people are totally unaware of, that happens in everyday conversations. See, it's like a subtle assassination. You know how you got things that happen, like you seen movies where somebody got took out by a hitman. Like, if you ever seen the movie Hitman, Agent 47, like his whole thing was to be considered a hitman. He would do hits where it looked like accidents, or he would do hits that were so subtle that people in public, he would do public hits. People in public didn't even know it happened. Watch the movie Hitman, AK-47. Watch that movie. Crazy. So in Hitman, he was doing these hits where it's like, yeah, the video game code too though. Raw as hell. That's my shit. So Hitman's whole thing was for him to get a hitman, like the video game, for him to get a hitman rank, you had to assassinate the target as quietly as possible. Our people assassinate themselves and don't realize they're assassinating themselves because it's a subtle assassination. It's assassination of character verbally, because keep in mind, contracts are verbal and written. That's a contract, or what they call in Latin, contractus. So you can commit character assassination verbally or written. Oral contracts or written contracts. You can commit character assassination. And that's the game that these people out here playing with us. Chainsaw peace, more. So if you starting a business up, if you starting a school up, if you starting any kind of venture up, you got to be aware at all times to fortify the mind. The mind makes it real. Anything that you into, your language that you speak, anything that you into or involved with, everything does not deserve your attention. There's people out here that just don't know that they don't know. So they'll have their fear, their phobia, their perception of the world, and they'll try to push that on you. So you are here as your own person, but are the thoughts in your head really your thoughts, or is it somebody else's thoughts? This is where knowledge itself come in at. People out here be like, nah, you can't start a business. Don't do that. What you gonna start a business for? Nah, don't start that venture. Man, that's gonna, they ain't really telling you, but low key, they telling you because they're afraid to start a business up. They're afraid to take steps doing this new venture. They're afraid to go handle that business. They're afraid. Don't let somebody else's phobia interrupt you from doing your best. You feel me? When you doing your best, and you got a vision, you got a plan, man or woman, focus on your plan and execute. Execute, G. Execute your plan. Don't get caught up in people's phobias. Because a lot of people out here, they're afraid to do what you're doing. They're afraid to study law. They're afraid of correction. Yeah, that part. That part. A lot of people are afraid of correction. They don't want to be corrected. A lot of people are afraid of correction. They're afraid of correction. You tell them something and they like, nah. I'm finna do it how I'm finna do it. Even though you putting them on game like, nah, that's not a good idea. That's not a good idea because XYZ. It ain't like you giving them what's called constructive criticism. I ain't talking about somebody out here just critiquing and criticizing you because they just feel like criticizing you. No. Constructive criticism should come from somebody that actually got love for the person. You're not going to want to see a person that you got love for just fail off GP. So if you see it another way and you got love for them, you'll be like, I'm going to treat you like I would want to be treated. So if I see that it's an obstacle that's on that path that you thinking about, I'm going to at least let you know. Now, if you choose to not listen, at least I did my part and I treated you like I would want to be treated in that moment. And I shared with you why you should look at this as an angle. It's an obstacle that you could avoid by going that way or going this way. How about going straight? But you know, a lot of people though, it's psychologically triggered by design. So they're going to go with how they feel. They're not going to go with, let me check the checks and balances. They're not going to go like that. They're going to go off, I feel like it should be like this. They don't want to accept correction, especially when it comes to identity. Hell no. That's one of the main things. Knowledge of self begins with who you are. Who made you? Allah. That's who made us. That's one of the last lessons that these so-called Freemasons even get. They get the beginning lessons of Moors, 360 degrees. The founders of civilization are Moorish people, our people. You said, I'm not listening to correction from somebody I don't respect. Well, that's a part of what you choose to be around and what you choose to ingest and what you choose to digest. I feel you though, because first of all, if it's a lot of people that got criticism, everybody got an opinion. And this goes back to this book right here. Critical thinking. This goes back to this book. So when it comes to critical thinking, and when it comes to using logic, keep in mind though, what does it say? He said the basis, it says problems or situations that require logical thinking call for structure, relationships, or connections between facts and links to reasoning that fits or seems right. The basis of thinking logically is called sequential thought. Yeah. So when they say, when you wrote that, I feel you, because if somebody is not using critical thinking, they're not connecting the dots of facts, and they just strictly telling you like, oh, I feel like this about what you saying. I ain't asked you how you felt. I asked you what you thought. There's a difference. You can feel anything. You can feel the wind blow. That's not going to tell me the weather. You just telling me the wind blowing. I want to know. It's a difference. So exactly, more. That's where it comes to mental health and discernment. When you using discernment, that means you like, I don't care about your opinion. I want to know the facts. I want to know the logic. I want to know the reasoning. What reasons do you have where you feel whatever you feel, how you feel? That's noted. What do you know though? That part. Like I seen some shit that they trying to do now. They trying to cause some more confusion on social media. They out here talking about who got the better rice. Who got the better rice? Man, y'all don't fall for this social media shit, man. These social media sometimes they be booby traps for like psychological triggers. Just to get people talking about something to avoid nationality and birthright. They'll throw out something like and try to cause tribalism, tribal wars. They always try to play tribal wars. Case in point. They like, who got the better rights between the Trinidadians, the Jamaicans, the Haitians? Who got the better rice? What? Like, yeah, rice, like the food. This is what they do, Moors. They trying to cause tribal confusion. This is what they doing. No different than the bucket challenge. Get a cold bucket of water and toss the shit on your fucking head. This is what they doing. Who got the better rice? Rice. Out of everything they talking about, who got the better fucking rice? Who got the lowest gas prices? Type shit. Who ain't paying taxes? Type shit. Why is these police out here doing what they doing, murdering our people? Type shit. When you get pulled over by a slave patrol, are they asking you who got the better rice? Who? Jamaicans, they got the better rice. Nah, Trinidadians got the better rice. Nah, Jamaicans, nah, Haitians got the better. Who gives a fuck? We talking about fucking rice. We talking about food. And guess what? Jamaicans, Haitians, Trinidadians, Belizeans are all Moorish Americans. All Moorish Americans. But they would try to come with this whole goof-ass arguments to distract people and to cause tribal wars. You see? It's tribal wars promoted again on social media. This is why you got to fortify the mind. You got to know thyself. If you out here and you just soaking up social media, who got the better rice? Who got the better rice? What are you talking about? Y'all don't fall for it, G. Don't fall for it. Who got the better rice challenge? So I need to listen. I need to listen to people online debate about who got the best beef patties. Who got the best beef patties? It's tribal wars, G. Like you got roti, you got beef patties, chicken patties. We talking about food. This is what we saying about psychological triggers. The media knows how to throw these psychological triggers out and cause us to fight each other. And they'll set the whole shit up. They set the whole op up. It's a whole op. Yeah. Who got the best curry chicken? Or is it chicken curry or is it curry chicken? Who gives a fuck? It's good ass food that's all Moorish American. Like, what we talking about? It's good ass food that's all Moorish American. How about that? To end all that goof ass debate shit. It's good ass food that Moorish Americans in different places cook up and you eat it. It gets you full because it tastes good as hell. And it's all Moorish American food. How about we put an end to that shit? Because people love food. I love food. You love food? People love food. And if the food fire, if it's fire, I'm finna eat it. I ain't worried about, man, this some Panamanian food. What? Man, this some Bohemian food. I ain't finna eat that. Or this some Trinidadian food. I ain't finna eat that. Goof ass. Or Oh, that's some Dominican food. Oh, that's some Puerto Rican food. I ain't finna eat that. What? That's some Cuban food. I ain't finna eat that. That shit sound delusional, insane. Food, good food, great food is great food. All right, what we talking about? Yeah. Great food is great food. And guess what? All of the greatest food comes from Moorish people. So what we talking about? Exactly. You said, honestly, we all make the same thing. It's just different names. Yeah, like they got over there in Ghana. They got beef patties over there in Ghana. They just call it a different name. Empanadas, tacos, rotis, beef patties. It's all la comida. So if it's all food, it's always that art of war, deception, get the tribes to fight amongst the tribes. This is what they do. This is why you got to have a strong mind. Mind over matter. Don't let somebody's social media mentality corrupt you. Don't do it. Good food is good food. Kill all that tribalism shit. That tribalism shit, that's the cause of a lot of division and a lot of falls. You know what I'm saying? Talking about making me hungry. Yeah, real life though. Real life. It's real life though. It's no different than you talking about natural women versus unnatural women. You're still women. You still women. One of y'all just got cake on y'all faces that you don't even need to be wearing like that. And you got a whole kit on your body that you probably didn't even need that shit. And it's life threatening. You gonna threaten your life just to put a kit on your body. You gonna threaten your life. Just think about how wild that is. It's life threatening surgery. So you gonna go under the knife for life threatening surgery just to look better on the outside? Just looking better don't mean you a better person though. And you dudes out there, you paying for this shit. This is the shit that be insane. You paying for it. You sponsoring chicks that got OnlyFans pages. You sponsoring it. So how you talking crazy to the chicks that got OnlyFans pages and you got a whole Netflix subscription of OnlyFans pages? What are you doing? Balance has to be restored. Balance has to come back to people. People now have just been saturated with anesthetics and how it looks, you know, the aesthetic things and all this stuff, how it looks. If it look good, then it must be good. It's a lot of things in nature, like plants, like poison ivy, and all these other, natural repellents and deterrents. A lot of these plants out here and trees out here in nature and animals, they might look beautiful on the outside. But you got to use discernment because let your ass touch a poison ivy tree, a plant. Shit. All right. Let your ass walk up to a porcupine. It looks pretty. I want to pet it. Yeah, all right. Walk your goof ass up to a porcupine. Talking about some, yeah. Or walk your goof ass up to a raccoon. Talking about, I want to pet it. I remember I was in a BX one time. I was in New York. I'm on a train station. I get off the train station. I don't know. I forgot where I was at out there. I'm on the train station. I get off. I think I was up there by like YO or something like that. And it was some raccoons that was like, they was like a family of them. So the whole time they sitting right by the train station. Like when you walk down the steps, And they like right there. And it was these people, they was like feeding them like food and shit. I'm looking, what? You feeding some fucking raccoons? Is you retarded? Yeah. And you know, it was some Albions. It was some hybrid Europeans. They out there feeding some goddamn raccoons at the train station. Man, listen. Y'all take that shit over there. Nah, they was Albions. They wasn't no Moorish people. It's a lot of shit that we be doing as a people, but we know goddamn well then to have our ass out there feeding some animals like raccoons. Like, you better get your ass up out of here. You better get your ass up out of here feeding some damn raccoons. Yeah, it definitely was them. We ain't finna just be outside on the feeding frenzy talking about, yeah, come here. Let me feed you. Come here. It's a raccoon. Big as hell. Your ass talking about, yeah, let me feed you. Feed you. You better take your ass over there somewhere. Talking about some, we trying to get the damn thing away from us. We ain't trying to draw it over there closer. They talking about some, here you go. Here, buddy. You know how they love saying buddy. He like, here, buddy. Here, bud. I'm looking. I'm over there. I'm standing over there. And I'm looking at these motherfuckers like, hey, man, don't have that shit come over here. Keep them damn things over there. Don't do it. Yo. For real, though. So, I'm finna move around, though. What time is it? About that time. I'm finna move around, though. I got moves to make, man. I just had to, you know what I'm saying, put something positive in the ethers. Put something positive in the ethers, man. It's always each one teach one, fam. It's always each one teach one. Straight up. If y'all don't know, check out God's Closet. He got a whole lot of drip on God's Closet that you could get. God's Closet on IG. Subconscious Celebrity. Shout out to bro. You could get drip on there. He got all type of drip t-shirts for the women, for the guys. Alright. Hats, scarves, all that accessories and all that. Khalifa Media, she got a gang of drip. All types. She got books, she got accessories, she got all type of drip that you looking for. You know what I'm saying? All type of merch. Moors support Moors though. You know, you supporting all these so-called famous designers. All right, well then support your own though. I'm telling you, we generate trillions a year. Like our people generate trillions a year. So why not put some of that bread back within our own people so we could really start bossing up, controlling our own? I mean, that part. Somebody got some merch, somebody got a product or something, holla at me. You know what I'm saying? Send me some merch, because I'll rock your merch. If your merch really hot, I'll rock your merch. Because more support Moors, though. You got a t-shirt line or something like that? Anybody out there that's doing like t-shirts, like I'm looking for like graphic designers. Anybody out there that knows or is already like in that lane that's doing like clothing, t-shirts, things like that, get at me. All right, we got some crazy ideas. You do clothing, you do t-shirts, all that type of stuff, get at me. All right? Get at me. Straight up. Get at me. Get at me, fam. Clothing, all that type of stuff. If you do graphic designs and all that, get at me. We got to start putting our own merch out there. Get at me. All right? Real life. Get at me, G. So I'm going to holler at y'all more. I'm going to catch y'all more in the next one, man. Enjoy y'all weekend. Don't do nothing too crazy out here, man. Don't let nobody's Don't let nobody's phobia scare you off from doing what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? Don't let nobody's fear deter you from accomplishing your goals. What you setting out to do. If you want to, fam, real life, somebody got to tell you, G, you could do anything you put your mind to. You, right now, and whoever gonna see this beam out, you can do anything you put your mind to. You just got to dedicate your mind, dedicate your energy, dedicate your frequency, your vibration to whatever you want to do and be. You could do anything. All you got to do is just dedicate yourself to whatever your goals is. And just do that. Do anything, fam. You can do anything. You do anything you put your mind to. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the fear control you and have you like, nah, I can't do it. I ain't got enough. Nah, I'm gonna wait till later on. Nah, ain't no waiting till no later on, fam. Ain't no waiting till no later on. If you got something you want to accomplish, start it now. Do it now. Don't worry about none of that. Because a lot of that is the journey. It ain't necessarily getting to the end game. It's the journey that you take on that's really the prize. It's the journey. The work that you put in is a lot to do with how far you gonna get. It's the work that you put in now that's the journey. It ain't always necessarily getting to where you want to necessarily be all the time, because you might not get there. But on the path to getting there, you learned on the way what to do, what not to do, what you could take from a failure and then capitalize off that failure by the knowledge that you got and the wisdom that you got. So now you flip that failure to something positive. So you flip that L from a loss to an L to a learning. Feel me? But I'm gonna catch y'all more in the next one though. Y'all got clothing out there, man. Link up. I got a lot of ideas. I want to start putting these ideas to print. All right, clothing. All right, so you got clothing, you a graphic designer, or you know somebody that is. Link up. It's about that time now. Each one teach one. Ourself law and master. Study, 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 and teach the babies, because they out here listening and they need us. All right. Salute to all you ones out there, 10 toes down, standing tall. All you Moorish men and you Moorish women. Stay on the path of light. All right. It's going to take us. Ourself law and master. Peace, Moors.